Hello everybody, welcome to the Red Bull Ring in the Styria Mountains in Austria for an absolutely spectacular weekend of motor racing for the AutoGP World Series. The first race, a real strategic battle, which Kimiya Sato won through in victorious fashion. 5 drivers really in the fight for the race. Kimiya Sato, Kevin Giovese, Marcus Pommer, Tamas Palkis and Andrea Roda. The 5 men who have made most of the headlines in the AutoGP World Series in 2014, and we're going to do it all again in fine style live here on Eurosport. Jake Sanson here, talking you through the action for this spectacular race. And what a spectacle we have. Reverse grid for the top 8, of course, in this second race of the day. And it means that we are going to have quite an interesting story to tell on the Red Bull Ring. Pole position goes to the man who finished in 8th place in race 1, and that is the number 71, Michele La Rosa, starting alongside Christoph van Groningen in the Zelle racing car. The winner from race 1, Kimiya Sato, starts on 8th position on the grid. And one driver we should be keeping an eye on from the back of the field is the Supernova driver, Michele Cerruti, who had a bit of a disappointing race that lasted just a few seconds, unfortunately, after several problems kept her out of the fight. Got tagged into the first corner, and goodbye Vienna, basically. That was it for the first race. And she's got another opportunity. No fault of her own, just in the wrong place in the wrong time. Marcus Pommer had problems as well in the first race, hence why he finished in 5th. Fastest car on track for the majority of, but a clutch problem bringing him into the pits cost him the race there. Interestingly, Euronova themselves have said of Kimiya Sato, he made life hard for himself in race 1, but he won it. So, I wonder if they had a bit of a word with him in between race 1 and 2. It's going to be an interesting race, this one, though, for Michele La Rosa. He'll have to do the best he can to hang on to the lead in the first part of the race. It won't be easy, that is for certain, because he'll have a pack of dogs chasing him down to the first corner in very tough fashion. It won't be easy in the slightest, and every driver on this grid is going to want to put one over on the man who has won 5 races in the 2014 season, and that, of course, is Kimiya Sato. Several drivers to keep an eye on, though. Shinya Michimi, the other Japanese driver who is based in Cincinnati, Ohio in the United States, might have an opportunity here to pick up a victory from 3rd on the grid. Teammates to Kimiya Sato. That could be a particular position to watch. 4th on the grid, Marcus Pommer, though, is there on row 2. He could be quite a threat from 4th position on the grid, 2nd row. And this is going to be a tricky one. The championship that has crowned Romain Grosjean, Kevin Chacon, Adrian Quaife-Hobbs and Vittorio Girelli as champions goes into its 5th season, beyond halfway now, with quite an interesting fight. Kimiya Sato hoping to continue on his championship fight, with Kevin Giovese and Marcus Pommer swapping 2nd position in the Drivers' Championship all the way through the season, trying to keep him honest. No GP2 services for Kimiya Sato this weekend. He's focusing on his AutoGP World Series Championship target and campaign. He wants to win it, as you see the Red Bull itself here at the Red Bull Ring. A lot of work they've done to this circuit, which was only recently used for the Formula 1, of course. Great facilities now at this place, and it does provide some fantastic racing. And the great thing about this place being added to the Formula 1 calendar is that the circuit itself has not been changed. So that great circuit that we got to see some fantastic Formula 1 races from 1997 to 2003 has not been changed in any way, shape or form. The facilities have, and the turnout from the fans has been pretty positive for this weekend as well, considering it's an AutoGP World Series race which doesn't have as big a grid as it would like to have. There's still plenty of fans who want to take in the experience of the championship fight. And it is a fight. Kimiya Sato is leading it, but he hasn't exactly run away with it. He's had 5 wins out of the 11 races so far this season. He did miss 2 of them, admittedly, at Monza, but there have been wins all season long from Kimiya Sato, Kevin Giovese, Marcus Pommer, Tamas Palkis, and interestingly enough, Michele Cerruti, last time out at Imola. And as I said earlier on, there's a name you need to keep an eye out on, particularly in the FIA Formula E Championship. She'll be partnering Jarno Trulli in the Trulli GP team. So, drivers all looking to make headlines of themselves for all the right reasons here. There are 11 cars on the grid. Only one of them is going to come through to win here at the Red Bull Ring. Race 2 of the AutoGP World Series 2014 at the Red Bull Ring in the Styrian Mountains of Austria. We are away on the green flag lap, and that's Shinya Michimi who has not got away. Shinya Michimi, and another of the cars hasn't got away. That is Salvatore De Plano. But big news here is that Shinya Michimi, one of the drivers who could have been favourite for this race, has stalled it on the grid, and so too has Salvatore De Plano. This is a disaster for both men. They're going to have to bring their cars back to the pit lane and try and get it restarted in the pits. So Shinya Michimi is missing, and this is great news for Marcus Pommer, because he's got one less obstacle running down to the first corner. He's got to try and get past Michele La Rosa and the man in second on the grid, which is Christoph van Groningen in the Zelle Racing car. There is the grid, La Rosa and von Groningen. Michimi should be third, but he's not. He's going to be starting from the pits at best. Marcus Pommer fourth from Kevin Giovese and Andrea Roda, who had a great fight in race 1. Tamas Palkis and Kimiya Sato, their fight will continue in race 2 from Cipriani, and then De Plano, who will also have to start the race from the pit lane, and Michela Cerruti, the Italian, racing for Supernova, took her first win last time out at Imola, and she'll be wanting another victory here today. Although, admittedly, from what is effectively now 9th on the grid rather than 11th on the grid, it is going to be a very, very tall order. And there are problems down at Euronova for Shinya Michimi. It doesn't look like he's going to be playing much of a part in the front of this field. Driver who's been racing in the Formula Challenge of Japan and the MRF Challenge Formula 2000 series in India of late. He's not going to get a decent result here, certainly not the result he would have wanted if he can't get that car started and joining the back of the grid quickly, and he is struggling with it, as too is Salvatore De Plano in the FMS car. So round the final turn to join up on the grid they will go, and it's Michele La Rosa, the MLR 71 by Euronova driver, who starts from the front of the grid alongside the Zelle Racing driver Christoph von Groningen, the Swiss. Then Marcus Pommer, the German in the Supernova, will line up behind von Groningen on the grid in 4th position. Michimi's place empty as he starts from the pits. Then Kevin Giovese, Andrea Roda, Tamas Palkis, and then in 8th position is Kimiya Sato, the winner in race 1. Can he do what he did at the Hungaroring and make it 2 wins out of 2? He got the maximum 28 points in race 1, and it's going to be very tough for him to do the same in race 2, at least to get a victory and a fastest lap. 21 points available in race 2, so we'll have to see who is going to be the man with the plan. La Rosa on the right, von Groningen on the left, Michimi starting in the pits. We are ready to go. Lights out. Brilliant start from von Groningen. He sprints away, leaving Michele La Rosa for dead off the line, and that's going to put von Groningen into the lead at turn 1, but keep an eye out for Kevin Giovese into 3rd position. There's a spinner at the back. Oh, and over the top of the curve. That is the 7 that's gone over. That is Giuseppe Cipriani. And that could potentially bring out the safety car if he can't get that car started. It is in a dangerous position. Michele La Rosa having a look to get back past von Groningen into the Remus hairpin. He locks up, and that could mean he loses the lead here. He's run wide on the exit. Michele La Rosa trying to sprint out of the Remus hairpin to get back into the lead from Giovese in 3rd position. I think it is Tamas Palkis who's up to 4th place. No, sorry, that's Andrea Roda in 4th position. So Marcus Pommer got a terrible getaway, and he's down to 5th on the start. Sato is battling with Tamas Palkis. And then at the very back of the field, Michela Cerruti in the Supernova, still pushing hard to try and move up the order. Sato and Keese getting very close together as they battle for position. Couldn't quite see who came off best there as they went into the Rauch corner, but into Verth curve, and von Groningen is your leader. 2nd place is the La Rosa car, and out of the car gets Cipriani, taking his front wing with him. Very obliging to help out the marshals in such a fine fashion, but not the race he would have wanted. So Michele La Rosa, now this is critical for Kevin Giovese. La Rosa is not as quick. He needs to get past him quickly here to have a chance of keeping up with von Groningen, and he's going for it early. Giovese on the inside of La Rosa. La Rosa is making him work hard for it, and Giovese has got the line on the inside. Cheers for the memories, and up to 2nd place. Very nicely done. La Rosa 3rd, under pressure now from Andrea Roda. Marcus Pommer won't be too far behind. Tamas Palkis critically has the advantage on Kimiya Sato early on as Andrea Roda makes the move on La Rosa. Here's how Giovese got past. Plain sailing, really, off the final corner, and made light work of it. And now that's a spin. That's von Groningen. Von Groningen, the leader, is gone. Von Groningen, the leader, spins out of the Remus hairpin, and he's just chucked away a victory. Absolutely disastrous for the Zele Racing driver, and that puts Giovese out in front. La Rosa tried to take avoiding action. Giovese leads, and up to second place now comes Roda. Tomas Palkis is going to be there. It's absolute skittles at the AutoGP World Series. Cars dropping out and spinning off all over the place at the moment. 4 drivers in trouble, 2 of them off the start line. One of them into the first corner, Cipriani, and now Von Groningen has thrown away the lead. Roda up to second place, and here comes Tomas Palkis. He needs to get past Michele La Rosa quickly, otherwise this could be one-way traffic for Kevin Giovese. Giovese leading, Roda second, La Rosa in third. Fourth is Tomas Palkis, the Hungarian. Kimi Sato in fifth. That's not too bad for him, and he can still win from there, ahead of Marcus Pommer. Has Marcus Pommer got more clutch problems? He had problems, we heard, in the pit stop earlier on. Supernova defended his driving. It was pretty impressive. He was the fastest guy consistently for the majority of the races. Tomas Palkis, the Hungarian, makes his move on the inside of La Rosa. Very nicely done. He almost runs wide on the exit, but he's got plenty in reserve, and Kimi Sato is now looking to repeat the move. From Tomas Palkis' point of view, he wants to get away from Kimi Sato, but La Rosa, it's just left the door wide open for Sato to make a move on the inside of the hairpin, and he almost ends up tagging Tomas Palkis, who gets back into his line, and he almost doesn't realise La Rosa's there. Yellow flags, I think that is for Von Groningen. I think he managed to spin the car and then pull it off, so maybe there was more to it than just a mistake. Maybe he had a gear change problem, and that's spun him around. Let's have a look at the start. Von Groningen got an ace getaway, just planted it off the line. There's no chance for La Rosa to get into the first corner. Sato darting round the outside of Marcus Pommer off the grid. So a great start from Sato, and he has got through past La Rosa. Marcus Pommer is going to be next. So the front row men are already down and out in terms of their fight for the champion, in terms of the fight for the race. Von Groningen is out, and La Rosa is down and out. So Marcus Pommer trying to make his way past into what is now going to be 5th position. And it's going to be these 5 men to fight out for the victory once again. So Giovese leading, Roda second, Tomas Palkis in third from Kimi Sato. Marcus Pommer having a bit of a job to get past Michele La Rosa, it has to be said. Marcus Pommer having some problems this weekend with the gearbox and in race 1, and I'm hoping that that hasn't continued on into race 2. No, that's Cerruti. That's Cerruti who's there in 6th position. My apologies. Michele Cerruti in the other Supernova has come through. Oh, tricky stuff. Couldn't quite get past Michele La Rosa. So where is Marcus Pommer? Is that him that's pulled off on the exit of the Remus corner? I'm not too sure if that's... I think Pommer might be out of this one. Well, that is a real shocker. He had problems earlier on. We know that. Marcus Pommer has fallen away out of this race. So Von Groningen out, Pommer out, Cipriani out. What a disaster at this early point of the race. It leaves just 6 cars out on their own out in front. Giovese, Roda, Tomas Palkis, Kimi Sato, then Michele Cerruti trying to get past Michele La Rosa and not getting through. Machini is the fastest man, down in 7th place, a few seconds behind these two. Michele Cerruti struggling to get past La Rosa, and she's very smartly thinking, I can't get past him on the road, I'll get past him in the pits. And that could be a very smart move for Cerruti. It was a good strategy call last time out by Supernova that got her a victory at Imola. And pitting that early, that could be a very smart move. So things going terribly wrong for Supernova in terms of their man Marcus Pommer, who had more problems. And he's out of the race. We think he pulled off just after the Remus corner, as did Von Groningen. There's the pit stop work for Michele Cerruti. First female driver to win in AutoGP in the 5 seasons it has been running. Last time out at Imola. And an early pit stop, that could be the right strategy call. Kevin Giovese leads the way at the moment, although now that Andrea Roda has been released, their battle from race 1 can resume, and Roda was very much a match for Kevin Giovese in race 1. In fact, their pit stop work was so sharp that he was able to move up a place and beat him to the podium. Very nicely done indeed. In fact, Roda's pace was so convincing in race 1, he almost managed to get past Tomas Palkis, his teammate, at the end of the race. So Roda going very strongly here at Spielberg. The gorgeous setting of the Styria Mountains, very appropriate for motor racing here in Austria. as the Red Bull Ring greets another spectacular single-seater race. It was F1 last month, now it's AutoGP, and Giovese, Roda, Thomas Palkis and Kimi Sato have run away from the rest of the field. Michele Cerruti is there in 6th position now, 7th position behind Shinya Michimi now. So Cerruti actually down to 8th position, my apologies, behind De Plano. But for those of you who are panicking, don't worry, she's just taken her mandatory pit stop. Drivers have to make a mandatory pit stop in this race after lap 3 and before the final lap. And into the pits comes Michele La Rosa. No wonder there's only 4 of them in the line. So La Rosa deciding to counteract for Cerruti. And I wonder if the Supernova female has moved her way past La Rosa. We'll have to look back and see who has got out first. But Michimi is up to 5th position, about 10 seconds behind Kimi Sato after those problems on the grid. So any chance Shinya Michimi had of winning this race, well and truly dead and buried. And they've come out side by side. La Rosa has to give best to Michele Cerruti. Great racecraft from the Italian female. This is what you're going to get to see in Formula E when the series gets started in September. And she is one hot driver at the moment, really charging hard. Andrea Roda into the pits. He's the one that blinks first then. Into the pit lane earlier than everybody else. And this was the good strategy call that got him onto the podium last time. Can he get a win out of this? Giovese is up the road, of course. And he wants to outsmart him a second time. Andrea Roda, the only man in the top 5 in the championship not to have won a race in 2014. Maybe today is his day. So away he goes, looking for a good strategy call. 2nd place twice this season at Hungaroring and at Imola, and he got a 3rd place earlier on, of course. So Roda knows what he's doing, he just needs the luck to swing his way. We're deep into the pit stops here at the Red Bull Ring. Who's going to blink next? Is it going to be Giovese, Thomas Palkis or Kimi Sato? And how is that pit stop of Andrea Roda going to impact on the way the race plays out? It's going to be a tricky one, and all 4 drivers have a claim to this race. Marcus Pommer and unfortunately too Christoph van Groningen sitting on the sidelines wondering what might have been in this race. But we're just getting interesting here. Giovese, Thomas Palkis, Kimi Sato, and the 77 is next of the 77 is next of Shinya Michimi, with Roda rejoining in 5th position. And is anybody going to blink this time in the pits? Yes, Kimi Sato has decided it's my turn. I'm going to get a good pit stop here, and I'm going to try and beat Andrea Roda out of the pits. He slams on the brakes on the way in. Come on, come on, every second counts. And he blasts onto the brakes and into the pits. And it's going to need to be lightning work from the Euronova crew to get him back out in front of Andrea Roda, because he was a couple of seconds, or certainly a couple of car lengths behind him when the pit stop happened. Come on, boys. Wheels off, wheels on. Go, 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 go. Very nicely done from Kimi Sato and the Euronova crew. They're happy with that. That was a quick stop. But crucially, is it enough to get out in front of Andrea Roda? That could be the difference between a podium finish and 4th place at this rate. And there goes Roda. So the answer is no. Roda's done enough. He stays in front of Kimi Sato, and that could put him in the hot seat for a victory. Thomas Palkis, fastest man on the track, a 1:21.6. So he is closing on Kevin Giovese just as we approach their pit stops. So 12 laps to go, 13 to go, sorry. And it's going to be quite an interesting strategic battle here in the AutoGP at Red Bull Ring.
Kumotai.
In the thick of the pit stops of the Red Bull Ring at the AutoGP World Series, round 12 of the championship, and Thomas Palkis has pitted, but crucially, he has not beaten his teammate Andrea Roda out of the pits. That means that Andrea Roda is still looking good for a shot at victory here, and crucially as well, Thomas Palkis gets out in front of his championship rival, Kimi Sato. The championship leader, Sato. Thomas Palkis looking to get some good points here and close up on Giovese and overtake Marcus Pommer. He will do that if he continues finishing in this particular position. Marcus Pommer, a big hammer blow to his championship chances. He'll probably be thinking, leaving Zeltwig, well, I'm not going to win this championship now. And it looks like it could just be a 2-horse race then between Kimi Sato and Kevin Giovese. But crucially, Giovese is out in front, desperately trying to pull away and build himself enough of a gap to get this victory done. And Tomas Palkis appears to be holding Kimiya Sato at bay here in what could effectively become a battle for the final step of the podium. Andrea Roda has got things done very nicely through his pit stops, and he has now got himself a nice gap between himself and his teammate Tomas Palkis. He wanted to beat him in race 1. He couldn't do that in race 2. That's the gap. It looks pretty good, doesn't it? And out at the moment, Andrea Roda is looking like he could be in with a shot at least at second place. But at best, first position. Kimiya Sato is not content to sit behind Tomas Palkis, and he's going for it. Tomas Palkis makes him go the long way round after trying to shut the door on the inside, and it works well. But it looks to me as though Tomas Palkis and Kimiya Sato, who are 4th and 5th at the moment, are in the midst of a battle. And Kimiya Sato is not in GP2 this weekend because he wants to go for maximum points in the AutoGP instead. And being sat by Tomas Palkis is not his idea of a strong race performance. He needs to get onto the podium from his point of view, and the only way to do that is to pass Tomas Palkis on the road. They've had their pit stops each, and that means now that Kimiya Sato is going to have to turn the dial up to 11 and move on to 3rd position, and he's going to have to do that on the racetrack. When we look ahead, Andrea Roda comfortable out in front, no problems from him at the moment. But Kimiya Sato really needs to step up his game now. He needs to put in some good laps and get back onto the tail of Tomas Palkis, and that's not going to be easy because when you're following in dirty air in these cars, you don't get much of an opportunity to get a decent lap. And Kimiya Sato will know this. He was one of the championship contenders heading into the season finale at Brno last year, so he knows what he's doing in AutoGP, hence why he's leading the championship. He's got another good run on Tomas Palkis. He might be able to get there, but Tomas Palkis makes him go the long way round. It's going to be out of Rima's hairpin that this gets decided. Palkis on the inside. Sato cuts through for the undercut, but there's no way through there. He's not going to get him past. And he's having another crack, isn't he, into the hairpin at Schloss Gold. He might go round the outside. He might beat it to the braking zone. He's almost there. Go on, Kimiya, find it round the outside. He doesn't quite make it through. And Tomas Palkis defends valiantly, but Kimiya Sato back on the outside. This is going to be side-by-side, a drag race into the next corner of the route, and Kimiya Sato might be able to hold it round the outside. Tomas Palkis, no you don't, sir. Brilliant stuff between these two. Tomas Palkis, the Hungarian, is determined to get a second podium. Kimiya Sato wants the points for the championship fight here, and the Japanese star is not going to say die. Who says you need 3 dozen cars to make a motor race? All you need is a couple of very hard-up drivers who are determined to beat the other. That's all it's about. Mano a mano, and it's right here in the AutoGP in the Red Bull Ring. Tomas Palkis desperately defending from Kimiya Sato. And there was the gap between Roda and Tomas Palkis. Apparently 1,000th of a second. I'm not convinced somehow. Maybe that was lap time. Maybe then on track position. Not sure what's to make of that one. Tomas Palkis and Kimiya Sato very, very close together. Not much in this one at all. So we continue to see how this one is going to play out for them. Not easy to see at the moment. And this is the final podium position. Giovesi leaving it very, very late to make his pit stop. 29.6 seconds ahead of Roda. Chiruti has pitted, so too is Machimi, of course. It's going to be an interesting one. Can Giovesi hold on? Well, looking at the way things are playing out at the moment, it looks to me as though it's going to be a fight for victory between Giovesi and Roda still. Andrea Roda got the pit stop absolutely spot on. And it's going to be about how he now looks after the tyres in this second half of the race. He's got to be very careful how he looks after it. It's not going to be an easy one to hang on to, but he knows that it's all Kevin Giovesi's to lose now. He has a 29-second advantage at the end of the lap, so it's all down to him. 29.6 in fact, and Giovesi and Roda, I can tell you, are actually running very similar pace. 121.9s from both of them, while Tomas Palkis and Kimiya Sato are both on a 122.6 or 0.7, so it looks like it's going to be between Giovesi and Roda. No wonder Kimiya Sato wants to get past Tomas Palkis. He can sense he's got no shot at the victory, stuck behind the Hungarian. He needs to get through and get himself back on terms. 7 to go, lap 14 out of 20, and it is going to be a struggle for Kimiya Sato to get onto the podium here. And that might be as good as he can expect from this race, which is not going to please him in any way, shape or form. He's going to be frustrated, sat behind Tamas Balkis, and he is lighting it up once again through the hairpin, through Schloss Gold and out towards Rauch. He's going to have another look on the left-hander. Is he? No, he can't get close enough. And he's still trying to find that little bit of time. The problem is in these cars, you run in dirty air, you can't get much of an opportunity to get through on the inside. These cars are not fantastic in terms of running in clean or dirty air. You just have to take an opportunity when they comes. And the great thing about this championship is that the tyre wear really does play a part in this championship race. Mandatory pit stops, of course, and they have to run both compounds of tyre that they choose in the race, as they do in Formula One. So it is a good preparation. No wonder Romain Grosjean won the championship in 2010, and now he's in Formula One. So into the first corner, and Kimi Sato still chasing down Tamas Balkis, the Hungarian. He switched teams this week. Tamas Balkis moved from Zelle Racing to Virtuosi UK, and I have to say, it looks like a very smart decision, because he's right up at the front, battling it out with Giovesi, Roda and Sato. Marcus Pommer should be in that lot as well, but sadly Pommer has had more mechanical problems, kept him in 5th position, clutch trouble at the pit stop last time out in race 1, dropped him to 5th place, and now sadly he is out of the race, having only completed, I think, 2 laps. So that's no good. And von Groningen, similarly, he was leading and he spun at Remus. Now, I wonder if that was a mechanical problem that put him out of contention. How about this, though? Kimi Sato has dropped back off the pace of Tamas Balkis, and this is the pit stop that will decide the race. Kevin Giovesi in the pits. And there's a problem for Giovesi's pit stop. It's not going well. The wheel's not coming off. This is disaster for Kevin Giovesi's championship. This is heaven sent for Kimi Sato. Giovesi is having no end of problems with the left rear wheel. This is going to effectively hand victory to Andrea Roda, and it's going to be his first win of 2014. The luck has not gone Andrea's way all season long. He's been the nearly man, 2nds, 3rds, 4ths, 5ths all season long. And as Kimi Sato passes the pits, he will have been told, your main championship rival, Kevin Giovesi, has got a problem in the pits, and you are now 3rd. So, pressure's off Kimi Sato once again. The championship lead is coming back into his favour. So it looks like at the moment it's going to be a Virtuosi 1-2, which will be delightful for them. Kevin Giovesi, pit stop problems at the wrong time, but it leaves their Italian superstar, Andrea Roda, out in front. And it looks like Virtuosi are going to have a very nice time indeed. 1 and 2, and that's Giovesi. That's Giovesi. Is it, or is that Salvatore De Plano, his teammate? Yellow flags. I think that's after Remus, so I think that's Giovesi out of the race, is it? Cerruti's gone through. Yes, Giovesi is out. Now, I wonder, did they do that left rear tyre nut on properly? Has he got a problem with the wheel? Let's have a look. It is Giovesi, and it is a problem with the wheel. It's going to part company. Oh, no, 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 no. That is terrible luck. Oh, Kevin Giovesi and Marcus Pommer see their chances of overtaking or even catching up with Kimi Sato. Sato! Sato's out! What is going on here at the Red Bull Ring? Sato is out now! That looks like... Well, is that a mechanical problem, or is something broken on the back of the car? I don't believe it. Cars are dropping out of this race, left, right and centre. Cipriano out. Pommer is out. Von Groningen is out. Giovesi is out. And now Kimi Sato is out. What is going on here? Absolutely unbelievable. And it leaves Andrea Roda and Tamas Balkis out in front to clean up. Oh, Andrea, don't lose it, whatever you do. You're on course for your first win. Don't lose it now. Looking good at the moment with 4 to go, but for goodness sake, Andrea, don't make a mistake now. You are looking good for a victory in what is turning out to be an absolutely bizarre AutoGP World Series race. Ah, that's what's wrong. Broken suspension. So, broken suspension for Kimi Sato on the left rear. Game over. Big, big points lost, and a big points opportunity lost. So, for Kevin Giovesi and Marcus Pommer, that is a lifeline thrown straight at them. Absolutely amazing. So it looks like it's going to be Virtuosi 1 and 2 with Andrea Roda in front of Tamas Balkis. Three laps to go here, And who'd have thought coming into this race that it would be a one-man band out in front? Andrea Roda pulling away from his teammate Tamas Palkis. Marcus Pommer out. Kevin Giovesi out. Kimiya Sato out. They are dropping like flies here at the Red Bull Ring. The heat of the Austrian mountains is clearly getting to the cars here. It is proving to be a big challenge. And with 2.5 laps to go, Andrea Roda is looking good for his first win of 2014, and it has been well won, even without Kevin Giovesi's problems. Andrea Roda was looking on course to beat him out of the pits, and this is a race that has been Andrea Roda's to win from the start. The Italian has worked very hard indeed here this weekend, and he has turned the dial. Into the pits comes Salvatore De Plano for his mandatory pit stop. He leaves it till the very end. He may as well. Unfortunately, his pace is nowhere near Kevin Giovesi's at the moment. Still developing with the car. But all this means that now in third position, after the horror of race 1, in third position is Michela Ceruti. How about that? The Supernova team are going to get a podium after all. A miserable weekend so far, and they are going to walk away with some silverware. Good stuff for the boys at Supernova. They worked very hard indeed, and Michela Ceruti has just kept calm, got on with it, and driven maturely. Michele La Rosa is in 4th place. Shinya Michimi is in 4th place. My apologies. Michele La Rosa is in 5th position, and in 6th place is Salvatore De Plano. So good points for De Plano, just for keeping it on the island. But Sato, Giovesi, Von Groningen, Pommer, and Cipriani are all out of this race. I can hardly believe I'm saying that. Absolutely amazing. So Roda is out in front. Tamas Palkis is in 2nd place. The fastest lap has just been set by Shinya Michimi, 121.5 again. Not bad at all. The fastest lap of the race right at the end there for Shinya Michimi. So a bonus point going his way. And considering that he scored for the first time at Monza, and it's good to see him back here again at Austria. Not bad going from Shinya Michimi. A 4th place finish. That will be his highest ever. And that will steer him in good stead, maybe to take over from Kimiya Sato as the new Japanese superstar when Kimiya Sato moves on from what looks like a fairly decent championship win, although that retirement has taken a little bit of a hammer blow to it. He got a dominant victory in race 1. Race 2, though, not the same story, and Roda struggling. Looking like there, he got a lot of opposite lock there as he had to try and make it carefully through Rindt and into Red Bull Mobile. But if everything holds together, if everything just takes its time, if the racing gods are with Andrea Roda, he will finally get his first win in 2014. And I have a feeling he'll be pretty happy about it. Tamas Palkis, his teammate, has come in, obviously is a bit of a threat as far as Andrea Roda is concerned. There is the Hungarian running in 2nd place. But Andrea Roda, to be fair to him, has stepped up his game and has really taken one to Tamas Palkis, his Hungarian teammate. The Virtuosi boys have pushed themselves forward and are looking good for a 1-2 victory. That's Salvatore De Plano in front of Roda. And it looks like he might just put a lap on him before this race is out. But what a day, what a race. I was thinking it was going to be plain sailing at one point and it was going to be a straight fight between Giovesi and Roda. But no. Red Bull Ring had other ideas. The first visit to the circuit for the AutoGP World Series, and I have a feeling we'll be back again because the racing has been pretty good this weekend. So it's going to be the number 4 that finally gets a race victory in 2014. He's worked so hard all season long. He's been 2nd, he's been 3rd, he's been 4th, he's been 5th. He's been the 5th man of the championship race all season long. And now finally he will be P1 into the final turn. It's a great day for Virtuosi Racing. What a day, what a drive, what a winner. It's a win for Andrea Roda in 2014, and that is about time. Well deserved. Great drive from Andrea Roda, and it's a 1-2 for Virtuosi. The team are happy. Tamas Palkis comes home in 2nd place, and Andrea Roda, he is ecstatic. He has every reason to be totally and utterly beside himself with joy. Great work today in race 1 and in race 2. Michela Ceruti coming home in 3rd. Shinya Michimi almost getting there for a podium, but not quite. Wow, what a race. I can't believe I've just witnessed that. Amazing. Roda takes the win. Palkis 2nd, Ceruti in 3rd, Michimi in 4th, La Rosa in 5th, Salvatore De Plano in 6th, and a lap behind. What an incredible race. And Andrea Roda wins for the first time in 2014. That is a nice result. A really nice result for the championship. Andrea Roda, one of the stalwarts of the championship. He's a great driver, a great racer, and he deserves that win. He's keeping his emotions in check for now, and I think he'll be debriefing himself round this victory lap. He'll be looking at what was good about that race, what could be improved about that race, but from my point of view, not much. Andrea Roda was absolutely spot on it from the green light, from the lights out, I suppose I should say, and Andrea Roda looked absolutely top dog. There's the confirmation. Roda wins it from Paul Keys, 6 seconds clear. He'll be happy about that. Michela Cerruti getting on the podium. That's good compensation after a race 1 retirement. Virginia Michimi in 4th, La Rosa in 5th, Deplano in 6th, and nobody else finished. Gervasi out, Sato out, Von Groningen out, Palmer out, Cipriani out. What an incredible race at the Red Bull Ring. There may have been less than a dozen cars on the grid, but it was certainly entertaining, and it was certainly a great race win for Andrea Roda. Great performance. We'll be back in a moment where Andrea Roda will get that celebration he so richly deserves with his team and with the fans here at the Red Bull Ring.
In our bid to make Sky Sports even better, we tested a multitude of ideas. From your own sports buddy to the sensation suit. But in the end, the simplest idea was also the best. A new European football channel, including the UEFA Champions League. But that's not all. 2 years free Sky Broadband Unlimited for our new and existing Sky Sports customers. Go to sky.com/2 years free to find out more. Sky. Believe in better.
Kumho Tires, official partner of AutoGP.
There are some wonderful, wonderful scenes here at the Red Bull Ring, because for the first time in 2014, there is a different winner from Kimi Sato, Kevin Gervasi, Marcus Palmer, Thomas Paukis, and Michela Cerruti. And it's a very, very popular victory as well. Andrea Roda. And it wasn't won by accident. It was won on sheer merit, determination, grit, and sheer brilliance. Very, very nicely done indeed from Andrea Roda in a race that was purely full of carnage. The big names dropping out left, right and centre. And there is a very delighted Michela Cerruti, who is another new winner, of course, after last time at Imola. 2014, the last few weeks in AutoGP has been about new winners. Michela Cerruti at Imola, and now Andrea Roda, a man who has worked so hard to get to where he is. 24 years of age, and a fabulous performance. And Michela Cerruti very happy with 3rd place after the misery of race 1. That is a great way to come back. And Tamas Paukis, the Hungarian, up there on the podium as well. This is going to be a very satisfying podium, and a very different podium to one we've seen in recent weeks. No Kimi Sato, no Kevin Gervasi, no Marcus Palmer. What an amazing race. The top 3 in the championship are not the top 3 in the podium. None of them are. Amazing stuff, great racing, and a very, very interesting position for the championship to be in. Here's how it happened. Von Groningen got the best start on Michele La Rosa. Gervasi slotting into 2nd position as early as he could, and it looked like it was going to be one-way traffic. Well, the spin, Cipriani at the first corner. He was the first one to fall. That was a replay just at the start. I thought we were going to get the entire race highlights then, but clearly not. Then Von Groningen spun it out of the Remus hairpin. And then, to make matters worse, it was then a race of attrition from there on in. We lost several drivers, including Marcus Palmer, shortly after Von Groningen, with more problems, I'm assuming, again with the clutch. Shinya Michimi should have won the race in some people's eyes, but had problems at the start and had to start the race from the pit lane. He fought his way back to 4th place, but with Gervasi out and Kimi Sato out, and Marcus Palmer out as well, it left the floodgates open for 3 very popular drivers to get on the podium. And Michele Cerruti sprints to the podium in 3rd place. She is delighted with that. Very nicely done. 3rd place for Michele Cerruti. And there is the 2nd place man, the Hungarian Tamas Paukis, with a new Virtuosi team. New team for him, and he'll be happy with that. But there's a very, very popular victory for Andrea Roda of Italy. What a race winner. Virtuosi are happy, and Andrea Roda is even more so. Great performance by the Italian. After a season and a half of trying, Andrea Roda finally stands on the top step of the podium with Tamas Balkis and Michaela Cerutti alongside him. And that is a very, very sweet moment. It's what you put all your effort, your determination, your finances, your charisma, your energy, your stamina, and your endurance as a driver into, to feeling that moment on the top step of the podium. And finally, Andrea Roda can take it. Great drive from Michaela Cerutti as well of Supernova. Not easy to get back into the action after being pitched off into a spin in race 1 at turn 1. But she came back and did a great job. Second place for Tamas Balkis. That's a good solid drive, and that puts him ahead of Marcus Pommer and possibly Kevin Giovasi in the championship as well. But a great performance from Andrea Roda. It's your moment, mate. You've earned it. Absolutely brilliant. Fantastici. Great job from Andrea Roda. A great race. There is more to come from Eurosport in the motor racing world this afternoon, of course. But for the moment, we are basking in the glory of Andrea Roda, who finally gets to taste the victory champagne. And it is one of the most pleasing podiums I've seen in AutoGP racing. Fantastic. A great performance. There is more action, of course, here on Eurosport today. We are racing in the British Superbike Championship at Brands Hatch at 2:30 GMT. And it's going to be an absolute spectacle. Great racing at Brands Hatch. And the second race will be at 5:30 CET as well. Great performance from Andrea Roda today, though, and that's what's making the headlines here in AutoGP. It's a win for Andrea Roda. 2 weekends to go. Is Kamiya Sato going to bounce back in style? Or will Giovasi or Pommer get back into the action next time out at the Nürburgring?